Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has decided to embrace tyranny and go full-on dictator by taking the unprecedented step of invoking the Emergencies Act in Canada, something that has never before been done in peacetime. Take a listen.
After discussing with Cabinet and caucus, after consultation with premiers from all provinces and territories, after speaking with opposition leaders, the federal government has invoked the Emergencies Act to supplement provincial and territorial capacity to address the blockades and occupations. I want to be very clear. The scope of these measures will be time-limited, geographically targeted, as well as reasonable and proportionate to the threats they are meant to address. The Emergencies Act will be used to strengthen and support law enforcement agencies at all levels across the country. The police will be given more tools to restore order in places where public assemblies can constitute illegal and dangerous activities, such as blockades and occupations as seen in Ottawa, the Ambassador Bridge, and elsewhere.
So wait, who gets to decide whether or not the protest is illegal? Just because you declare something to be illegal, that makes it illegal? Correct me if I'm wrong, but were there any court orders or laws passed that would deem the Freedom Convoy an illegal protest? It's my understanding that the only court-ordered injunction was for the Ambassador Bridge protests, and the Ambassador Bridge protesters are complying with that order. So where's the illegality? I don't understand. Are you saying that you have the power, you, Justin Trudeau, have the power to declare a protest illegal? You alone. The court doesn't have to intervene. Parliament doesn't have to pass any laws. Justin Trudeau can declare a peaceful protest illegal on his own. Is that what you're saying?
These tools include strengthening their ability to impose fines or imprisonment.
Once again, because you say so, the police now has the power to levy fines and imprison protesters?
The government will designate, secure, and protect places and infrastructure that are critical to our economy and people's jobs, including border crossings and airports. The Emergencies Act will also allow the government to make sure essential services are rendered, for example, in order to tow vehicles blocking roads. Finally, will enable the RCMP to enforce municipal bylaws and provincial offenses where required.
This is rather chilling, ladies and gentlemen. However, it only gets worse. Listen to this announcement by the Finance Minister of Canada.
We are announcing the following immediate actions. First, we are broadening the scope of Canada's anti-money laundering and terrorist financing rules so that they cover crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use. These changes cover all forms of transactions, including digital assets, such as cryptocurrencies. The illegal blockades have highlighted the fact that crowdfunding platforms and some of the payment service providers they use are not fully captured under the Proceeds of Crime and Terrorist Financing Act.
Did you hear that? Terrorist. They are using the word terrorist now to describe the Freedom Convoy. These people are terrorists now, according to Supreme Leader Trudeau and his cronies.
We are making these changes because we know that these platforms are being used to support illegal blockades and illegal activity, which is damaging the Canadian economy.
Again, I ask, what court order or law has been passed that deems these protests illegal? Are they illegal just because you say so?
Second, the government is issuing an order with immediate effect under the Emergencies Act, authorizing Canadian financial institutions to temporarily cease providing financial services where the institution suspects that an account is being used to further the illegal blockades and occupations. This order covers both personal and corporate accounts. As of today, a bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so, they will be protected against civil liability for actions taken in good faith.
Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen. If that doesn't send a chill down your spine, I don't know what will. That is insane. This declaration just gave banks the power to seize or freeze assets of anyone they even suspect to be participating or supporting the Freedom Convoy. The government of Canada just authorized the theft of personal private property, and they've given the banks immunity, meaning if they steal your money, you cannot sue them. This is unconscionable, people. Justin Trudeau and his cronies have just unilaterally declared the Freedom Convoy illegal and given the banks the power to seize private property. And the Freedom Convoy has no course for redress. They cannot sue the banks for stealing their money. This is insane. Absolutely insane. I don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get this straight. The Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, and his cronies have their bought and paid for legacy media, and make no mistake about it, the CBC is absolutely state-sponsored media. But don't take it from me, take it from the Supreme Leader himself.
You sometimes hear about liberal bias in the media these days, how they're constantly letting our government off the hook for no good reason. Frankly, I think that's insulting. It's clear that they let us off the hook for a very good reason, because we paid them $600 million. You don't get stellar headlines like these without greasing the wheels a bit.
So you use your state-sponsored media to smear and paint these peaceful protesters out to be racists, white supremacists, violent extremists, and the list goes on. You use that as a pretense to invoke the Emergencies Act, unilaterally label this protest illegal, and authorize banks to steal their money, to steal private property. Do I have that about right? Absolutely disgusting. This is just flat out evil. Now, there are a couple of questions that arise from this announcement. First, will Parliament let this stand? This declaration must be put up for a vote within 7 days, and Parliament must sign on to this in order for this declaration to stand. The second question I have, is this a serious attempt by Justin Trudeau to invoke the Emergencies Act, or is this political theater to placate his base? Justin Trudeau's popularity ratings are in the tank. He looked extremely weak by running away when the protests started. And there are some that feel that this declaration is just Justin Trudeau's attempt to show strength, to show his political base that he's actually doing something, even though he knows full well that Parliament will never let this stand, and this is more political theater than anything else. But even if that is the case, that this is all just a political stunt, the simple fact that he would go to these lengths to save face for political reasons is sickening. God-given rights and freedoms are not to be messed with. Whether or not this is political theater is beside the point. To make this declaration at all is frightening, unconscionable, and downright evil. So, wannabe Supreme Leader Trudeau, if you want to know what an extremist really looks like, you won't find any among the Freedom Convoy protesters. Instead, I suggest you take a hard, long look in a mirror. The face staring back at you is the real extremist. And to all the peaceful protesters in the Freedom Convoy, I say this: there may be dark days ahead, but don't lose hope. Freedom-loving people from all over the world are watching what is going on in Canada. And although we cannot be there physically, we stand with you from afar and add our voices to the chorus. So let's go, Brandon. Truck Fudo, let freedom ring, baby, and keep on trucking.